We are in Piranha North Studios in Sturgeon Bay. Aaron Fisher.
There's a video studio up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I want to introduce you to Antonio Polk.
How you doing, young man?
He's new to the film festival.
Good, how are you?
Good. I am on the panel of the Door County Film Festival. I'm also a filmmaker myself. I'm a producer, director. I'm a Screen Actors Guild actor. I've been acting for the past 30 plus years, and I can go on and on. But I'm gonna stop right there.
All right. Are you from Door County area originally, or?
Originally, I'm from the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
Evanston,
Nice.
Evanston, Illinois. You ever heard of Evanston?
Yes. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Evanston. Is that just north of Chicago?
It is. It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a suburban area of the Chicagoland area.
Is that where
Northwest-
Northwestern?
Exactly. Northwestern
Yeah, okay.
University.
Thought
Yep.
so.
Yep.
All right. Well, nice meeting you.
Good meeting you as well.
I wish I had a cool little chair like you guys are sitting.
Oh, you like these?
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, I got two films coming out myself called Better Off Dead and Angels in the Rye, and I shot them. I shot both of them on location here in Sturgeon Bay and in the Chicagoland area. So, and these are my
Awesome.
director's chairs that
Oh,
for my
perfect.
production. I think I wanted to ask you a question about your films, because I mean this Western is really a good piece, and it was just really well put together. I really enjoy watching it.
Thank you.
And it's 9 minutes. It's a little over 9 minutes long, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
You told a lot in 9 minutes time. It was very well put together. It was very well shot, editing, good acting, so on and so forth. You ever thought about making longer films for possible distribution, possibilities and such?
Absolutely. I actually have. Thanks for what you said about the Western. You know, as you guys know, making films super hard. Every time you're doing it, you're like, why am I doing this? And then when you get the finished product and it turns out good and people say that they like it, it makes it all worth it. So it's just like, warms my heart when people say anything nice about the films. But yeah, I'm actually writing a feature length right now. And I have actually drafts of the Westerns for feature length, because I mean, at the end, that probably is the goal, right? Like, you get a short film, somebody likes it, and then you develop it into a feature. So I would definitely be open to it. I need more practice writing long form. It is a completely different medium, you know?
Yeah.
Short film is its own medium.
Yeah.
Feature film, short film, it's a different art form altogether. So I do have a draft that I like of a feature length film, but I'm looking to do more practice and eventually produce content of that length.
Do you kind of subscribe to the the format of like when you're writing a feature, like on page 30 this has to happen, and then on page 60 or do you like, I'm just writing it and this is gonna happen how it unfolds?
To the page, I do it by the formula. I'm not
Okay.
trying to do like some A24, like I know I'm not Orson Welles. I know like where I'm at.
Yeah.
The formula works for a reason. How many great movies follow that formula exactly? So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, especially for my first couple of projects. I'm just going to do it completely by the book. Like you said, inciting incident, page 10, plot point 1, page 20, midpoint. You know, I'm gonna do that exactly. And then if I can write something decent enough under the formula, maybe I'll try something a little more artsy. But for now, thanks for that question, because I think people don't realize how many films follow that formula exactly. And if they do not realize that, that's not a bad thing. Like, that's a good thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like I said, it's that way for a reason.
I don't think I've ever met anybody that says, "Oh no, I threw that out the window." No, everybody says follow that.
Absolutely. Somebody, I think it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. They did exactly that. You know, they're like, we're just gonna do this exactly. I mean, to add on to that, one of my fiance's friends, we were out at dinner a little while ago, and she's like, I'm watching, and she's not a film, she likes movies, obviously, but she's not like a filmmaker.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm watching a movie, and if at 20 minutes it hasn't grabbed me, I'm turning it off, which is crazy because the formula says that you need to have your actions like kind of fling you into act 2 right at 20 minutes. So I thought that was really interesting, but it just goes to show to grab and sustain an audience's attention, you need to hit certain benchmarks. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they say. So how many films in total have you made? I heard that you had a film at the last film festival last
Yeah.
year, and then you were going to make a Western. So how many films in total have you already made, or was it just those two?
So total, let's see. So in college, I had I'm just doing all of them. College, I had my intro class. We had a short narrative. So that's one. I actually got to direct the capstone short film, 30-page script in the capstone course at UW-Madison. So that was 2. I made one that played at Wildwood Festival, and then another one. So that's 4.
Oh, so you got
And then I made my first Western 5. I made the deer hunting one, played at Door County 6 last year. So this new Western is my 7th short film.
Nice,
Nice.
excellent,
Yeah.
good work.
And I'm writing the feature. I'm writing the feature, and I have some, I've met some people, some like connections that hopefully those, go somewhere. But in the meantime, like it's not like I'm still gonna try and produce short films in the meantime. I just wanted to get a feature written under my belt.
What was your process as far as your props for this Western? I noticed the really cool hats the guys had on, the gun was cool, the wardrobe.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Is that your personal ordeal or what?
So I'm at my fiance's family's house right now, and this is an airsoft gun, but I was like, I have to have this for the interview. This is my fiance's brother's. It's really cool. It's like heavy duty. It's got that nice 30-30 lever action thing going on.
I thought I seen another gun, like a 45 or 38, something smaller, and it looked kind of an older model ordeal. How did you come across that prop?
For the one in my movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, thanks for noticing that, first of all, because, when we made the first Western, my main collaborator, Nick Hoffman, he's the star in this movie, right, in the one that you saw.
Yeah.
When we were shopping for the first movie, I was like, I picked some stuff up that wasn't, like, low quality, but I didn't really, like, go really into it. I'm like, I think these would work for costumes, maybe we should have... I'm glad you mentioned the hats, because I was like, these hats might work, I think this would... He was like, no, look. The costumes are super important, and they are in a period piece. You can't get lazy on any parts of the costumes. They're very important. He's like,
Exactly.
even if it costs us money, he had to scour the internet and found some hats that are good. So, Have you guys seen the movie Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford?
I never did see that one.
With Brad Pitt?
I think. Oh no, not with Brad Pitt. No, I didn't see that one. But they've made several of those particular films. I just didn't see the one
Yes.
with Brad Pitt. What were you going to say about that?
Yes. So that's my favorite movie of all time. You're right. They've made probably a dozen Jesse James movies. That is my favorite movie of all time. The costumes are absolutely gorgeous.
They are.
Jesse James and that gang, they were mostly active in Missouri. Their last robbery was in Minnesota, right? So it's technically a Western, but they're in the Midwest. So now how cowboys and outlaws and people will dress in the Midwest is different than how you'll see people dress in Texas, south of the border, kind of in the Southwest, right? It's different. So I couldn't we couldn't have our characters looking like a Texas Ranger. You know what I mean? Because we're in the Midwest. You could, but I feel like it's not as, accurate. So the hats, like you mentioned, we look for some flatter hats. They almost look like more farmer, kind of like Amish,
Yeah.
adjacent, as opposed to like your big Texas sheriff.
The one
guy,
had with
so-
the ordeals around it. There was a film called Billy Jack.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's probably long before your
It's
time.
a 70s movie.
I
Yeah,
love 70s movies.
Yeah.
Look up Billy Jack.
Look up-
Those
look-
are
Billy
some
Jack.
good movies.
yeah. And that hat, I was like, where did he find this hat? This
Yeah, I
hat.
thought of it too.
Did you think the same thing?
Really?
This is a
All
Billy
right.
Jack. This is a Billy Jack hat. Where did you get this Billy Jack hat from? Now I like Billy Jack.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. The brand of my hat is called Charlie Horse. It's high quality. They got the lining and everything. Nick's hat is an actual Stetson.
Okay.
Oh.
But the one that you were talking about with the ornamentation, the one that I was wearing, yeah, that's like a Charlie Horse hat, and they were pretty expensive, but now we can use them for every Western that we want to produce from now on. The guns. So the same thing with the guns. I was shopping. I was like, these Colt 45 replicas look really good. And Nick's like, well, for the amount of money we spend on a nice replica, we could probably just get a real gun and then we can actually use it, stuff like that. So he found this mom and pop gun manufacturer out of Georgia called Heritage Arms Manufacturing. And he ordered a couple revolvers, but they're 22 caliber, which is obviously small, way smaller than a 45 or probably what a typical, what those guys would have actually been using. But we subbed in a heavier caliber bullet for the sound effects, but they're 22 caliber. The shotgun is like a family heirloom 20 gauge shotgun. I feel like it's a trope in Westerns. They always got like a 10 gauge. There's always like a big, unnecessarily heavy shotgun in Westerns and stuff. But this is a 20 gauge, really old break action. My dad lent me a bunch of stuff, some traps, some props and stuff for the movie. He's like, I don't care about any of this stuff. Just bring me back that 20 gauge because I've had it since I was a kid. So guess what the one thing I broke on set was?
The 20 gauge.
But so we got the 22
Were you serious
rounds
about that? I'm sorry.
yeah, so when Cartwright shoots and then he tosses the gun aside to go tackle the marshal, that's what I think, and it broke like a firing pin off or something. I went to the gunsmith, spent the money, and got it fixed. But that's just a funny little detail. We used blank rounds. I ordered some blank rounds for the 20 gauge online, and then the 22 revolvers. They're actually starter gun rounds, so they're just really little. The 20 gauge is full powder, full smoke, full whatever. I mean, a small detail we kind of had to sell with the 22s is that you're not going to have a little recoil on you're not going to have any recoil on a little 22 starter round. So I don't think that was noticeable. As long as there's an ignition and some flash and powder from the muzzle is fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
safer than using live rounds.
Yeah.
Did you have to have anybody show you like how to handle a gun, or is it like you just know? That?
Yeah, I grew up on a farm. I was always really into guns as a kid. Feel like I grew out of it when I was like 10 years old. But now I have like a working knowledge. I have a firearm safety permit. I mean, nobody on the set was handling the guns besides me or the actors, and that's how it's been on the previous sets too. You got to be careful,
Yeah, definitely. Did you say that you? Because if you did, I guess I didn't recognize you. Did you do some acting in your film too?
Yeah, I was
You were the other
I was
guy?
Bob.
Oh, I'm
I
like,
was Bob.
okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That means I got in enough of a character that I wasn't immediately recognizable.
Well, you had the hat on and
Yeah.
little scruffier look, and
I knew, but that's just because I met you last year, so it was like
Because you know me?
Yeah.
when the film opened up, it felt like a Lincoln assassination. was about to happen.
Oh my gosh.
In the theater thing. What prompted you to use that idea of when the film initially opened up, when it went into the, you know what I'm saying? When it went into everything.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. You're the second person that has said that. A guy at the last festival mentioned something about Lincoln. He was like, it's almost like a precursor to the, Lincoln assassination. So I was like, that's really cool. That's like the coolest thing somebody said about the film. So that's awesome.
Where's this theater?
I have a perfect answer for this.
Yeah.
I've had an opera house in every single one of my scripts.
Oh.
And it always gets cut. Because I never want to force it. If it does, you can't be married to anything when you're trying to make a movie. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you got to get it out of there. So I've had Opera House in every script. This one is the first one that it's actually worked. And so I just love opera houses in general. I guess that would be what prompted. But I think some added utility of it is, when you're making films on low or zero budget.
Yeah.
Where do you film? You go out in the woods and you film out in the woods because you don't have to worry about interiors and stuff like that. So I've done that for both Westerns that I made, but I thought it would just be a nice touch to add some detail and production value to have an interior. So I thought the Opera House, which is accurate to period, I think it's 1890 is the style the Opera House was in. So I thought that would just add a nice little detail. It was super nice. That was in Stoughton. I mean, I have the graphic before the movie, but that was super nice of them to let us film there because I don't think it was like perfectly timed. It was off season, so there was no performances going on, and she said she looked us up and saw the other films and saw that we weren't just some bozos coming in to, So it was really nice of her
Coming in
to
to
let us
utilize space for no reason, huh?
Yeah, right. It was super nice of us to.
It was a
of her
very,
to-
very good dynamic to add
you.
that to your film. It really added to the whole nuance of what you were putting together
you.
there. Yeah, that was really good. Very, very good thinking.
Thank you so much. Westerns have their tropes, and that's good. The assassination of Jesse James, it was just such a poetic, a Western like I've never seen before. So that's always influenced me to, think how, it's not like there's never been an opera house in a Western before, but I'm still always just kind of thinking of ways, how can we be faithful to the Western genre, but add in little details that you might not necessarily see in every Western. So, yeah, I'm glad that worked out.
So, what's your long-term goal as far as a filmmaker? Do you plan on trying to make a living eventually making films, or do you do it because you just for the art of it? Do you do it just because you love filmmaking?
Both. So I feel like it's a good, yes, I absolutely, I would love to be a filmmaker. That's my job. That's where I go, that's how I make my living. In the meantime, I feel like it's just a good use of my time. I'm building a portfolio. I can show like, look, this is what I can do. I produce this whole thing. So I know at least a working knowledge of every aspect of the filmmaking process. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. I have no delusions. I know how competitive and how few people actually make, a living making films. But I figure what's the worst that can happen? Do these films, yes, they're really difficult to make and, it's stressful when you're doing it, but you still get this awesome art piece at the end, and who knows, something may come of it. And that's kind of the, my thought process. So, yeah.
My wife would say, well, you have to do something with your time.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I agree with her. And there's
Yep.
a lot. a lot worse things I could be doing with my time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're enjoying doing it, keep doing it.
Right.
Yes.
Do you
for sure.
so do you normally throw yourself in your films?
So the last one that I played at the last festival, and I really liked that film. I think that might be one of my favorite films that I made, that Slug Season that we
Season?
played at the last festival. I wasn't in that one. A lot of the times it's a matter of utility, right? Like I'm making these movies with no money. I could cast myself. You know, if I cast somebody, it's just somebody else I have to rely on.
Yeah.
And pay. I don't pay a lot, but I try to pay everybody, cast and crew, a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know what I want as far as vision. So I feel like a lot of times it's just the best option. That said, it's not easy directing and acting. Some people like Kevin Costner and whoever, they make it look easy, but it is a little harder. Because there's like a task saturation. If I'm worried about where the lights are, how much daylight we have left and all of that, and still have to act, it's difficult. But a lot of times it's my best option. So I would say that's why I do it.
Yeah.
So then you just went ahead and killed yourself off so that you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the last West, right, exactly. Yeah, exact. That was a thing when I wasn't in the scenes. That's funny. Yeah, kill myself off so I can just focus on directing. In the first Western that I did, I was the one. I don't want to spoil it. Well, I will spoil it, but I was the one that killed Nick. It was the other way around. So I feel like this is a revenge. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. I try not to write like that.
Do you ever think about, because obviously you're an actor, you're a director, you're a producer, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
You are currently union, non-union actor. Which one are you?
Non-union.
Non-union.
So far.
Do you have a desire to ever become a union actor, or you just it doesn't make a difference to you?
I would. I mean, it's not like yes or no. Yes, I would have a desire to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually a SAG meeting at the last festival that I went to. I guess I've just never really had somebody lay out the pros and cons and kind of showed me the steps to take to do that. But it'd definitely be something I'd be interested in. Yeah.
Because I was asking because you're a very good actor. You did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just saying that.
No, you know what? Once I figured out it was you in the film, because I was gonna ask about both of the actors in the film, but I didn't realize you were one of them until we just had the discussion. But yeah, you did a solid job, man. Did a very
Thank
solid
you.
job.
It's really hard. People think that acting, you just get in front of a camera and whatever. No. The actors you see on TV, they make it look easy because they've been trained to make it look like they're not acting.
Right.
And we have a few under our belt, and we have some experience, and a lot of it is reps and getting comfortable and stuff like that. I've talked with Nick. We realize how important performance is. It's pretty much everything. We try to write to our strengths, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to reach too far to play a character, to really get into character.
Sure.
Writing and casting, which I don't remember which director said it, but casting is 70% of filmmaking. I can't remember who said that. Multiple probably have. But if you cast the right actor in his role, he doesn't really have to act. So when we're writing, we try to write around that. But Nick wants to make a crime film this summer. He's been wanting to make one for 5 years, but I just keep getting these Western ideas and other ideas. But we're going to actually try to do the crime film this summer, and I've been insistent, and he agrees with me to go get some training, even some 101. You know what I mean? Just because I'm sure there's basic stuff that's really obvious to other actors that you don't necessarily think of, or you're not conscious of, So we definitely want to just go get a couple. They say Kurt Cobain only had one guitar lesson, and that's all he needed to know for guitar. So I'm thinking if we can get 1 or 2 acting lessons in, we can. That would just make a huge difference. Would you think so? Were you trained actor?
I'm self-trained. I have, like I said,
Self-trained?
I have my SAG card. I've been having that for over 30 years, and my outlook on I studied a lot. I just self-studied a lot. I never took any courses. In the beginning of my acting career, I kind of beefed up my resume and such to get an agent, and I was also doing a lot of non-union projects, and I established a really good reel from non-union projects like these things that you're doing, and just submitted them, and took my chance, and it kind of flourished, you know. So I was able to get a union agent. I had a non-union agent at first, then I went from a non-union agent to a union agent. They called me in. They wanted me to read for them. I nailed it. Next thing I know, I was doing union commercials, and I had after the third one, it qualified me to become SAG, and I've been part of the union ever since. So it's, you know, there's really no certain way to become SAG. It's just, you know, I would say the first objective is to try to get a union agent, because nowadays with these platforms and such, these union agents, they represent non-union talent too. Back in my day when I started out, it was just a total blessing for me to even get a union agent, being that I was non-union talent. They normally don't even do that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But nowadays, these agents, they are willing to see if you got a good resume, a good reel, and so on and so forth, and you submit those to a union agent. They are willing to see you. They are willing to see if you can. It's just about money making. If you can make them some money,
Yes.
they're willing to, and you sell the product, they're willing to see you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you on IMDb as well?
I am, yes. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Trying to keep that updated. Yeah, for sure. I've been up on that, adding projects, and it's nice to have if I work on other people's projects, and then they can add me, and I can kind of have that all there.
So get your reel together. Just make a reel and then submit them to a union agent, and this way you can. I think, you know, with your youth and with the, you know, the talent you got and so on and so forth, I think you'll be able to. It wouldn't be that difficult for you to get an agent, and you can make some real money and put that into your productions and such. You know what I'm saying? I normally try to cut out the middleman and finance my own stuff. This way I don't have a third party that I have to try to pay back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, I feel like a lot with acting too is, I feel like some of it's natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But some people, they just get it, you know. And I've worked with those people before. Never act before in their life, and then they just get it, you know. So some people have it naturally.
Acting. Somebody told me something a long time ago, and I took it to heart, and I simplified it. And I was told that acting is reacting, and that's
Yes.
it. Acting is reacting. You got another good actor with you. You're feeding off of each other. You're reacting to each other, and that's what acting is. And just simplifying it. Keep it yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're character acting, that's a different story. But that's why I was able to do as much work as I've done in the past. Just simplifying it and just reacting from the other actor.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to be present, right? Like, you can't just be thinking about your next lines. No, that's very true.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of that is just being comfortable in there too. If you're nervous, you're going to be focused too much on yourself and your lines instead of actually living in the moment. I think it was Fincher or some director. A lot of directors do this, but they just do takes over and over and over again until one of them sounds believable and it sounds like they're not reading lines. You know.
Well,
so.
you know. The objective is to do as less takes as possible. When you're working on a major production, Paramount, CBS, whatever the case may be, they don't want a lot of takes. Because takes is money, time is money. You know what I mean? So that's the objective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Acting is reacting, but I gotta still remember my lines and such. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
all of those
Yeah.
things, they intertwine together. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's you've done some good work. I would keep plugging away. This Western Blood Trade is a solid, very, very solid piece.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I loved it. Chris, did you want to? Did
No.
I talk too much?
No, you're killing it. No, and you know, one thing I like too, just from a festival director standpoint, we don't get a lot of westerns. I was excited last year when you told me a western was coming our way. Like, yeah. And now a crime drama, or like you're thinking about for next year, do that. We don't get a ton of those, you know.
Well, we'll do a crime drama and then we'll cast Antonio in it too.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know what?
He was putting a plug in.
We'll talk. We'll definitely
Yes,
talk a little bit.
we will. We definitely will, because I'll be up there. The
I'll be
Western
there.
thing, yeah, you know, that's part of the reason I make Westerns too, though, is because when you have a niche, you're gonna get. I've submit to a lot of Western-focused festivals, because when you make it a genre, that genre has their own fans, obviously, that follow it, and they can go, you know. So when I made that first Western, if you put a short film on YouTube and it's just a drama, you're in a sea of like 100 million short films. But if you're in a genre like Western, like I just noticed the views immediately on that one, because people are seeking out Western. So that's the good thing about making genre films, is it has its own built-in market and audience. But it can be hard to program. You know, I'm super, super grateful whenever I play at any festival. It just like, it makes me so, I get that selected email and I'm like, yeah, just makes me so fired up. That not every festival can program a Western. You know, I'm sure a lot of them like the film, but they're like, man, if we play this like at this time in the shorter film block, like it's gonna be jarring how different it is from the other projects. So I'm always super grateful when it can play.
Yeah. For us, all we care about is, was it a good movie? Did you enjoy watching the movie?
Yes.
All right, it's in. You know, like it's just that simple.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
we're 2
I
for
went
2
through
for
my
us.
right. I went through my snobby phase of, you know, turning my nose up at whatever because it's not this or that. But I agree with you. At the end of the day, are you entertained? Like, are you not entertained? Like, is the movie good? That's my only criteria, and that's what I try to produce, is just something that people would enjoy to watch. So.
Great.
Yeah, stay on that path, man. You're doing a very good job.
Thank you.
I feel like a few years down, we'll look up and see this, your name and big lights and such as far as a producer and a director. Really, man, you're doing a really good job. I'm not just pulling your chain. This Western was really something serious.
Yes.
I was like,
Thank you.
dude, I love this Western. Who made this Western? Oh my God.
Yes, that's so awesome, dude. You just made my whole, I'm not even lying, you just made my whole week.
Oh, good,
because
man.
that's the stuff you need to
Awesome.
hear.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? As a filmmaker, you need to hear that, because that's what keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he was watching the movies and he sent me a note specifically saying that Western was really great. And I'm like, oh, that's Bowdie.
Yes,
Yeah,
dude,
like,
that's so awesome.
Totally stood
That's
out,
so
man.
awesome.
I said, we
Love that.
know him, and that's great. And so
That's so
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, man.
All
Yeah.
right, it was great chatting with you.
Very great.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you at the festival, man.
Yeah,
I will see you guys at the festival. So thank you so much for this interview. Thanks for all your kind words. And I guess I'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
All right, keep it going.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys.
All right.